Hey guys, it's Damo here. I'm on the beautiful New South Wales South Coast, and I wish you were here. We'd be having a blast. Of course, this is the launch of KTM's 390 range. I have with me the Adventure R and the Enduro R. We've been having a blast on these the last few days. And what we're going to do now is cut to some of that action and have some fun, and then I'll talk to you at the back end of that, and we'll go over some specifics. But till then, let's have some fun. Okay, first ride on the 390 Adventure R. Just checking the mirrors, making sure my ergonomics are all good, getting a feel for this machine. That's Andy Wiggin right there from Transmoto. Just checking his mirrors, looking to see if he's got a dead sexy fella right behind him, and yes you do! Walking round the room singing stories.
Alright, who wants to hit this one anyway while we're here?
Damo wants to hit this one like a fat kid hitting a pie.
That was sick! Honestly, I've only had 3 beers. Increasing the preload on the shock this morning has made quite a big difference to the way the bike feels. Positive improvement. There's no preload on the fork though, so you do end up with a slightly higher back end, which means you've got slightly faster steering. Oh, that's deeper than I think you thought. Oh, that's stank. But net positive from increasing the preload on the back, especially for someone my size. Just feels more stable. Over the more techie stuff anyway. It's a great trail. That's Clubby in front of me from Australian Adventure Bike Magazine. That's Geordie Bethune from Flightcraft, the photographer, going past me. He's a mad dog. Because it's a light bike and small bike, not a particularly long wheelbase, it's very lively on these trails. It feels kind of like riding a 2-stroke. And it's not very fatiguing. If you're taking a 700 or an 890 down here, you'd start to feel it physically after a while, or fairly quickly.
That's fucking unreal.
No, it's like, don't hit the rock, don't hit the rock. I hit the rock.
I think this kind of double trail is the natural home of the 390 Adventure R. Nice bit of flow to it, so you get the engine up to revs, and just keep it there, happily motoring along. Tree. Damn it. Had like 5 business days to avoid that. Now this is obviously not as rough as some of the single trail we've done, and it handled that well. But I really do think that if this is what your riding looks like, or this is the type of riding you aspire to, and there's an awful lot of this type of riding in Australia, this is a fantastic choice. This kind of riding doesn't stress the apex suspension too much. So if you went harder than this, you'd want to look at the Explore kit. You can upgrade the 390 to the Explore Pro. G'day Wayne. Cornerman system at work there. And that would be great to try. The WP Explore Pro kit would be great to try. There's Rosie, the marketing manager for KTM. Pretty much everyone at KTM rides, and rides well too. So you can upgrade this to become quite a weapon in the suspension department. And there's probably merit in that. If you were going to do that, I think you'd probably want to find a few more ponies out of the engine. But just taking it as a stock machine, straight off the dealer showroom floor, it's eating this up. This is great. And again, we can do this and go pretty much all the way around Australia. These trails are everywhere. Nice little downhill. Some ruts. Oops, someone's randomly stopping. Ah! Yep, more ruts. Pick your way, always look as far ahead as you can when there's ruts. The brakes are good, I like the brakes. They're not particularly strong. And we're going left. We're going to stop here and be cornermen so everyone knows where to go. The brakes they're good. They're not particularly strong, but they're good. They have a decent feel. The ABS doesn't kick in an intrusive manner on the front end. I'm really impressed with this little guy. Yesterday I was kind of nonplussed to underwhelmed, but I'm starting to warm to it, and I really think upping the preload at the rear has made a big difference for me.
We've swapped trusty steeds. What do we think so far, guys? KTM 390 media ride.
These are like the crowded house of adventure bikes. Just easy listening, but really catchy and enjoyable.
This engine definitely likes to rev. You've got to put it in a sweet spot like riding a small 2-stroke. From memory, the old Husaberg's FE390 wasn't quite as critical in where you rode it. But that said, it's not a hard thing to do. It took a little while just to drop down a gear from where I thought I should be and just let the thing rev. And it becomes a heck of a lot of fun.
So we've come across a tree across the track, and we're going to try and cut it so we can get through and to do the community a good service.
It is breaking!
So I'll take this moment to go through some of the more critical aspects, or the aspects that I'm critical of on the 390s that we're on. First of all, the standing ergos. Now this is purely personal, but I'm 6 foot tall, pretty much on the dot. It's a long reach down to the bars. I think bar raises would be too much, but I think high bend bars would probably fix that and be fine. The problem if you go bar raises, you really change the sitting ergos, and that changes the way the bike handles while you're sitting. And I reckon these are really good while you're sitting, so I wouldn't upset that. Just go high bend bars and see how that goes. The metal tanks, that's a price consideration. They're cheaper than plastic tanks, but they're susceptible to damage. So just be aware of that. The fueling seems a little bit off. It's hard to pick in the rev range exactly where that is, but both bikes are susceptible to stalling. I've experienced it mostly on the Enduro R. It's intermittent. Yeah, it's hard to explain. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, you're sort of surprised. So it doesn't have any rhyme or reason. So that's something I think they would have to look at in the future. We've got side stand spring on both bikes. Doesn't seem strong enough to hold that stand. Now we're punting these things and we're hitting a lot of trail trash. Oh, it sounds like the log's gone. No, not yet. But I think a heavier spring, or even mounted from a different angle, would help, but heavier spring would be a great start. We did a lot of water crossings yesterday. I did get some water on the electronics on one of the bikes I was on. Look, I hit that water crossing, I think 8 times, and it was very deep. And then we hit another one, and then we hit another one, and I did each of those probably 4 to 6 times each. And I hit them pretty hard. So I'm not super critical of that. I was probably being a bit silly. Again, keeping in mind, these are entry-level bikes. So how much of this type of riding would you expect to be doing? Probably not a lot, if any at all. This log does not want to move. But gee whiz, I'm enjoying riding these things. Gee whiz. What am I, Richie Cunningham? But gee whiz, I'm enjoying riding a smaller bike. Particularly this morning. We hit a fairly rutted out hill up through, and had to dodge over and through the ruts and whatnot. And it was rocky and, you know, generally shitty. But just grabbing the bike by your ankles gave you complete control to put it anywhere you wanted it to. And you just don't get that on bigger bikes. You don't get that on a 700, 800, 900,000 and so on. You can grab it all you want and move it, and you'll influence it without a doubt. And you'll improve the stability, but you can't tell it where to go. It's in charge. I'm the captain now, says the big bikes. But the little bikes, no. I'm sorry for moving around, but it's windy, so I'm trying to keep the wind out of the microphone for your enjoyment. But the little bikes go where you ask them to go, where you tell them to go. You're steering it like you're steering a horse, I guess. I don't know. I don't think, oh, they're jumping up and down on the log now. It's not budging. Honestly, we should have bought some chips or some popcorn and a drink and a lounge chair. Anyway, guys, we'll eventually get this log out of the way and keep riding. We'll talk again soon.
2,000 years later.
Wind down the last few kilometers of dirt before we hit a final road section to end this launch. Thanks for watching. This has been our 2025 390 KTM Australian launch video. Thanks for joining. I wish you guys were here. Of course, look for the full detailed written review on advlife.com.au, and we will do our best to get a test model to make a full video on as well, very near in the future. But until then, up stick, ow. Let's enjoy this last bit of dirt. So I think for the majority of riders who are looking at this type of bike, you're looking for an entry-level bike, you're an early adventure rider, those types of dirt roads that we were just on That's your bread and butter. And you can ride all around Australia on those dirt roads. And these bikes will eat that up, no problem. There are no dramas on this whatsoever. And I mean, if you had a $42,000 bike, it's probably not going to be doing it any better than what I'm doing it right now, let's be honest. So for 10 grand, 11 grand, 12 grand, depends which model you pick, you can go and explore far and wide on this stuff. Cut your teeth on the easiest stuff, and then move into the harder stuff, which you've already seen we've ridden. So the bike can move with you as well. You can start and then progress to intermediate level riding, no problem. There's a lot of value in owning a bike like that. It really is. Well, that's a wrap, guys. I hope you enjoyed some of the action from the 2025 KTM 390 launch. We certainly had a lot of fun. Now, there's going to be a full-length article up on advlife.com.au, so be sure to jump on there if you need all the details. But until then, just a few thoughts on the bikes after these launches. This is 3 days we've been on the two models, which is, of course, the Enduro R and this guy, the Adventure R. These are really important models to me. I think we have a lot of high-powered, high-tech, high-priced motorcycles out there to choose from. Maybe we have too many almost at this point, and the prices certainly are going up and up. But where's the gateway drug? Where's the bike that gets me hooked on it? Where's the one that introduces the beginner? That's what's important to me. And I think these guys are really important because they offer quality. It's not just an entry line, it's a quality entry line. So you're not paying a lot. That's nice and easy for everybody. But you're also getting something that's built fairly well and is very capable. I think we pushed these bikes harder than they were actually built to take this week. And it's been pretty impressive on how they've taken them. We've certainly had a lot of fun. Riding a smaller bike has been such a great, the smaller bike, the lighter bike, even the shorter wheelbase, it just makes it so much fun. Even in the really technical stuff, the mud, every time you think you're going to hit something and lose, just the fact that you can physically hold on to that bike instead of it's monstering you like a 7, 8, 9,000, 1100 cc bike with 160 horsepower. Man, do we need it? I don't know. They are fun, but I got to tell you, riding these things in some of the more difficult terrain has been really easy and a lot of fun. So guys, check out the story as soon as you can. A lot of detail in there. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in Rosie Lalonde, who is the marketing manager for KTM in Australia and New Zealand. And we're going to ask her a few questions about where these bikes are going to fit. And of course, the 390 that birthed all these, the OG. Let's have a look back at that with Rosie.
He's so professional.
Well, we'll do the Wide Water Sports thing.
Yeah, already.
So, Rosie, we've been waiting some time for these new 390s. Has there been anything going on at KTM over the last year?
Not really, Damo. It's been business as usual, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
No, it's been an interesting year. Let's put it that way. I guess the biggest message from KTM is that we are still here. We are still here. We are in the market. We are being seen. We want to say thank you to the customers, thank you to the dealers, and we're very excited that new models are back arriving. And I mean, for me, this is the first Australian media launch in a while.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys and good to see these bikes being tested in true Australian conditions.
Yeah, having tested bikes in all different countries around the world, a lot of them have been orange, I can absolutely attest it's not the same as riding at home, particularly the dust levels. There are some countries that never get to ride in dust. Imagine that.
I mean, they're missing out. Like,
I know. But they're
dreadful.
like, what's wrong with the paper air filter? Well, sir. No, it's absolutely important to ride them here. And we ride differently to other parts of the world, don't we? Is that something
Absolutely.
that the company understands?
I think so, and that's what's really cool is that KTM actually sent R&D developers down here to Australia. They attended our first KTM Australia Adventure Rally, and they were absolutely blown away with what Australian riders do with the KTM bike. What is really amazing though is seeing the evolution, and this next generation of adventure is a true Aussie adventure bike. It's the first 390 adventure that has the R moniker bestowed upon it, and I truly think that this is the bike for our market.
I've kind of always had a little soft spot for the OG 390 though. I rode it a little bit, and it turned me around to, oh, maybe small bikes are kind of fun. Maybe I don't need all of this, but then you're like, no, I need more. I want everything. I want everything to make up for my lack of skill. Can you give us an idea of how things have changed? Because these are completely different, aren't they? They're not
Yes.
really related that much to the old 390.
No, so these are especially different when it comes to the suspension,
Yeah.
the chassis. The engine is the same as the 390 Duke.
Yeah.
However, there are certain tweaks that are particular for adventure or off-road riding.
Yeah.
But for this suspension chassis, as you can see, the tower on the Enduro model, it's more refined, but it is very much more off-road adventure focused, which is, for us, great for our customers, because that's what Aussies want to do. They want to go more off-road.
And it's a gateway drug.
Okay.
It's an entrance to adventure, seriously off-road, that you didn't really have before. And you've got everything all the way to the most high-powered, high-tech, high price. But this is the first time, I think, that you've really got a quality, truly off-road offering at a low price for people to enter the adventure market in. That has to be important for your whole range, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the key takeaways here, and I know it's a word that I've been using the last couple of days, is fun. These bikes are so much fun to ride, but also value for money. At the end of the day, yes, we pride ourselves on producing premium adventure motorcycles. That is the KTM way. However, premium comes at a cost. So it's great that the new 390 range is more affordable. It is that value for money. And what features and benefits you do get on these models for that value, I think are absolutely extraordinary.
Value for money is an interesting too. The value proposition of anything, it can start with the price, but if you're stopped from doing what you want to do on it, in particular a motorcycle, it's not really a value proposition. So there's so much that has to go into that on an adventure bike. And given what we've done over the last 2 days, it's pretty wild where we've taken these and how hard we've ridden them. So it's 11,295 for this guy.
Right away.
Man,
Yep. I know.
we went pretty hard. I think, honestly, I've only had 3 beers. But I swear, we went pretty hard on some fairly difficult trails. It's definitely pretty slippery.
Oh, well, what's pretty cool is, hey, we're KTM, we're the Ready to Race company, and we want you guys to test these bikes. So guess what? We're going real Australian conditions. And yes, we had a bit of road mixed in yesterday's route, but today it was 90% off-road. And we went into some trails that were two, if not a little bit of maybe 3 chilly that we would have on a KTM rally. And these bikes absolutely conquered it. So I think that's what's pretty amazing is seeing that, what you guys think of these bikes in these Aussie conditions. But for us, it's a great entry to our product lineup and something maybe we haven't had before for those off-road oriented customers.
Yeah, so important. Finally, can I take one home?
$11,295, please.
Lay-by?